Hi everyone, Carmen Broxma here with Choose Joy with Carmen, and in today's video we're going to be doing technique number 2 for Watercolor Wednesday as we celebrate Watercolor Month. Stampin' Up! Has, I don't know if it's Watercolor Month everywhere, but Stampin' Up! Is doing Watercolor Month this month. And so this is going to be the second technique, and we're going to be using the same image that we did last week on that technique because I just kind of want to show you the difference and how it looks. And today's technique is called detailed watercoloring with watercolor pencils. And so the supplies that we're going to use is the shimmery white cardstock, our stamp set, the jet black StazOn, our watercolor pencils, and then the water painter. And when you get these, they come with 3 brush tips, and I'm going to be using the smaller one because of the detail that I want to accomplish. And then what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and ink up our sunflower here with the StazOn ink. Make sure that's nice and inked up nicely. And then we're going to stamp it on our paper. And I'm going to be die cutting this out anyway, so I'm not too concerned. So I'm going to ink that up, and then we have our image there. And then we're going to start coloring with our watercolor pencils. So again, I'm going to try to go as close to what I did last week as far as color goes, since it kind of matches my logo. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the early espresso, and I'm just going to focus on coloring in. And let me see if I can get in closer here so that you can see what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't want to get it too close because then it'll get kind of blurry. But hopefully that'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just color in the areas that I want. So I'm going to do early espresso for the middle here. And then I'm going to go ahead and color Cajun Craze for my next layer, which is going to be here. And then I'm going to focus on the Rich Razzleberry on the bottoms of each of the petals. And then the Daffodil Delight on the tips of the petals. And then I'm going to use Garden Green for the leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and color all this. And I'll come back before I do the water painters. I don't want to have you watch me color. And plus, this just broke, so I need to go sharpen it. But let me do my coloring, and then before I bring in the water painter, I'll show you what it looks like. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. And so let me show you what I did. So I just took my watercolor pencils and I just added color where I wanted it. So I really focused on the early espresso in the middle there. And then I kind of did the Cajun Craze, but then I also got a little darker around the outside. Focused on the Rich Razzleberry closest to the middle. I didn't go all the way up because that's where I kind of want to fade it into a lighter Rich Razzleberry. And then I have the Daffodil Delight on the tips, and then the Garden Green on the leaves. So now we have our paper towel here and the water painter, and I'm just going to squeeze it to get the water started, but I don't want a whole lot of water. And then I'm just going to start adding water to these areas. And that's going to kind of smooth it out. So I'm going to work on one color at a time because I don't want it to get muddy looking. So I'm going to do that, and then once I think I'm done with that, I'll go over here and clean off my brush, and then I'll go to the next color and just kind of work that color around. It just kind of smooths out that watercolor. And this is a great time, so like, let's say you have too much in an area where you could kind of pull it away. See if you wanted it lighter there. See how I pulled that away? Or you can push it back in. So let me clean that, and then I'm going to work on the petals. And so I'm going to be pulling this toward me, toward that yellow, because I want to get some of that lighter pink in there. So I'm going to keep doing this, and then I will go ahead and work on the yellow and the green. So let me just get this done here really quick. Okay, so there is the result of that. And I like it a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut this out, and then we will come back and continue on with the card. See you in a minute. Okay, now that we have this colored with our watercolor pencils and water painter, so now I'm gonna design the card, and I decided I wanted to use, since this is also on shimmery white, I wanted to do shimmery white for part of the card front. And then I wanted to use a strip of this because I thought it would match really nicely. And this is from the Boutique paper. This is the back side. So we're going to use that on here as well. And I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do, and I just wanted to show you kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp this sentiment, know that you are loved, that also is part of that Celebrate Sunflower stamp set. I'm going to stamp that in Early Espresso. And then I'm going to, once I have that stamped, I'm going to kind of lay this kind of in the vicinity of where I want it. So like, let's say I stamp this here, then I'll kind of decide where I want my sunflower to be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sunflower with Early Espresso, and I'm going to try to stamp it in that area. But first I'm going to move these, once I kind of know, and stamp it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some random stamping of this on the rest of that paper. And then I will come back and finish up the card. Okay, so here is how it turned out. And what I ended up doing, I haven't put the sunflower on yet, but what I ended up doing was I pulled out my color and contour stamp set because I wanted these speckles right here. And I used the rich raspberry to speckle 3 times on there. And then I did a strip of rich raspberry there also, and used my favorite embellishments. I hope they never go away, but if they do, I'm going to have to stock up. The brushed brass butterflies. So I'm putting 3 on the top there, and then I stamped that sentiment on the bottom, know that you're loved. Then when you open it up, it says, congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. And I stamped another sunflower with the Early Espresso and add a little strip of that designer paper that I have on the front. So then the last thing that we're going to do is take our beautiful watercolored sunflower, and I put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back, and then we're just going to lay it over that one that we stamped specifically for this. And I'm going to just put that there. And then that way, I mean, if you look, if you see it from the side, you'll know that there's a sunflower underneath there. So I think that's really cute. So there we go. I think I like this watercolor technique better than last week's. I mean, last week's was fun. I guess I like the look of this better. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, right? So this was last week's. And I do like that look, but I mean, if I have to say, if I have to compare it, I mean, you know, I guess it just depends on what look you're looking for. But I really like this card this week. So, alrighty, there we go. I hope you enjoyed today's video for Watercolor Wednesday. And like I said, I have 7 techniques to show you. And I don't know if I'm going to do one a week, so we'll run it for 7 weeks, or if I'll try to squeeze all 7 techniques in this month, since this is the since Stampin' Up is celebrating this month as Watercolor Month. Alrighty then, so thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you're new to my channel and if you want to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate you for that. And for those of you who are already followers and follow me on a regular basis, just thank you so, so much. And keep sharing it with your friends and giving me thumbs up, and that really helps my channel. Okay, thank you all. We will see you again next Wednesday for another technique on watercoloring. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.